welcome to the news show. I'm Artie Sequeira. This week brought to you by Narcissus. No, seriously, isn't this guy in this pool of water so hot? Narcissus. Our top story, Bernard Madoff faces up to 150 years in prison after pleading guilty to swindling investors in a $65 billion Ponzi scheme. In a prepared statement following the verdict, Madoff said that next time he plans to use other people's money for false investments, he would do it under the guise of an economic stimulus package. 5 Guantanamo Bay detainees charged with plotting the September 11th attacks have filed a document expressing pride at their accomplishment. Faced with the ensuing public outroar, the detainees clarified that they had planned September 11, 2008, a joint birthday party for all the prisoners born in September. The plan included saving individual oat grains and a handful of potato bugs to dole out as gifts and giving tickle attacks to all the celebrants. They then added, "Can we please go home now?" The Obama administration is getting tough on trade. The nation's official trade policy is now, "We'd really like to sell you some stuff for so much lots of money and buy your stuff for cheap, mother." Oh, that is tough. Georgia food safety officials debuted the first ever guidelines for inspections of peanut processing plants in their state. This after the national salmonella outbreak linked to a plant in Blakely, Georgia. Many of the new statutes were met with swift agreement and execution, but Mr. Peanut has filed a civil suit over his now state-required daily strip searches. Move over, Kanye. Now Miley's miffed at Radiohead too. Hannah Montana joined the refrain of Radiohead Diss Me at the Grammys during an interview on the syndicated radio program The John Jay and Rich Show. Supposedly offered a chance to come meet her, Tom York turned it down, saying, "We don't really do that." Cyrus has now pledged to ruin them. York was rocked by this assault by his secret crush and plans to tell Chris Martin, to tell Gwyneth, to tell Amy Adams, to tell Nick Jonas, to call Cyrus and tell her York has a note for her, and if she could just check the appropriate box for like, not like, or love, maybe they can get past this oh my gosh, total disaster, bummer, freakout misunderstanding. SWAK. It might be the largest stingray ever recorded. A National Geographic expedition in Thailand captured a freshwater stingray weighing somewhere in the neighborhood of 750 pounds. The stingray was tagged and then released, and so begins the next chapter in the revenge plot of Bindi Irwin. A new report shows 40% of coma patients declared to be in a vegetative state are misdiagnosed. The most commonly misidentified states: in a regular coma, merely napping, or vegging out in front of the TV. The Army fired 11 soldiers in January for violating the military's policy that gay service members must keep their sexuality hidden, according to a Virginia congressman. Okay, so they're allowed to shoot other men in the face, but they're not allowed to kiss them? A doctor in Scotland proposed a tax on chocolate this week to fight rising obesity in children. Surprisingly, his motion failed, but it did have one intended result. Children around the country are exercising, practicing military-style drills and guerrilla warfare tactics in the inevitable chocolate revolution. Go fat kids! For nearly 150 years, a story has circulated about a hidden Civil War message engraved inside Abraham Lincoln's pocket watch. This week, curators at the Museum of Natural History confirmed it was true. The message reads, "I said, free the knaves. Oh, whatever." One of the most iconic buildings in the world will soon have a new name. Sears Tower, once the tallest skyscraper on Earth and still the tallest building in the US, is being named after its new tenants, a London-based insurance broker, Willis Group Holdings. Starting this summer, it will be known as Willis Tower, or as Chicago residents will pronounce it, Sears Tower. 21 couples have shared a joint wedding in Somalia, where the economic slump has made traditional lavish celebrations increasingly unaffordable. The region is staunchly Muslim, so the men and women celebrated separately. And yes, since all the grooms were thusly virgins and the brides were resplendent in bridal gowns, there was a 21-gun salute. Really? It's gross.
Funny.
It's gross. Meet a real-life Spider-Man. David Blancart was confined to a wheelchair for 20 years but can now walk again thanks to the bite of a brown recluse spider. Following the incident, Blancart thanked his miraculous benefactor by screeching like a 6-year-old girl and smashing it to a pulp with a then little-used sneaker. For the first time in 5 years, the number of billionaires in the world has shrunk, according to Forbes magazine's annual richest people list. The count of worldwide billionaires now stands at 793, 355 fewer than last year. We here at the news show would like to offer the following condolence. Boo frickin' who? Actor-comedian Brian Gerard celebrated a birthday today, and a day and a street named after him in his hometown of Worcester, Mass. did not occur. Again. Maybe next year, Gerard. And finally, Battlestar Galactica, the reworking of the 1970s series, draws to a close in a 3-hour finale tonight. The final installment is sure to garner the best ratings ever for the Sci-Fi Channel, only to be dismissed come Emmy time again as genre fare in favor of high art realism like Brothers and Sisters and Grey's Anatomy. Frack that! If you heard anything in the preceding silence, you are a Cylon. And that's the news show this week. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next Friday.